Hey everyone, this is Michael again, and welcome to the Monday Night Raw review. Monday Night Raw tonight was from the CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore, Maryland. And this was Monday Night Raw's Fallout show from Money in the Bank, which was on Saturday, which I heard was a decent show. You had Damian Priest winning the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, even though I would have preferred to see LA Knight win the match, because I think LA Knight, would have deserved to win the Money in the Bank match because of how over he is. But I don't mind Damian Priest, as the Money in the Bank, briefcase winner in the match. So I don't mind it. I don't mind Damian Priest, coming out winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. We have new women's tag team champions in Liv Morgan and Smiley Raquel Rodriguez. They end up defeating Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, to which Shayna Baszler turned on Ronda. So I guess that makes Shayna Baszler a babyface now. But who cares? Who cares about the women's tag team titles? Do you all care that Liv Morgan and Smiley Raquel won back the women's tag team titles? Do you all care? I know I don't. I'm like, okay, they won back the titles. Moving on. We got Gunther retain the Intercontinental Championship, of course. He defeated Matt Riddle. Cody Rhodes ended up defeating Dominik, which a lot of people are like, oh, well, this is going to be the main event of Money in the Bank. Are you serious? People actually thought that Cody Rhodes and Dominik were going to main event Money in the Bank. Wow. Do you all realize that Roman Reigns and Sikoa and the Usos were main eventing Money in the Bank? And people were like, oh, Cody Rhodes and Dom are going to main event the show. What a joke. And you have Io Sky. She won the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, so she holds the briefcase. So that's that. And then Seth Rollins beat Finn Balor. Seth Rollins retained the World Heavyweight Championship. And of course, the Bloodline Civil War match. The Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defeating Roman Reigns and Sikoa. You had Jay end up pinning Roman, which that was shocking because this was Roman's first loss since 2019, since the TLC 2019 pay-per-view. So, yeah, Roman took his first loss at Money in the Bank since 2019, which that infuriated Roman there. But, all right, Money in the Bank was a decent show from, what people have told me and seeing, the results here. But getting into Monday Night Raw tonight, I'm just going to let the legend, the WWE Hall of Famer, Stone Cold Steve Austin, take this. So, this is what Stone Cold Steve Austin has to say about Monday Night Raw tonight. Boring. Yeah, thank you, Austin. Thank you. This show sucks. This show absolutely fucking sucks. Monday Night Raw tonight was more of Monday Night Recap. How many recaps did we see tonight? We saw 100% more recaps than we did wrestling tonight. We saw a lot of recaps from Money in the Bank. And we saw a recap of what we saw with Cody Rhodes, who kicked off Monday Night Raw, with Seth Rollins being in there. Cody Rhodes ended up coming out. And then you had Brock Lesnar returning. So we had Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar going at it. And then we get a recap of that. Like we saw that earlier in the night. swear. Like I said, this show is more of recaps than wrestling tonight. Absolutely nothing happened on this show tonight. Nothing. So what do we get on the show tonight? We had Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We had a women's tag team turmoil match where the winners will be the number one contenders to face Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez for the women's tag team championship. So with Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green and also Dana Brooke and Tegan Knox. Yeah, Dana Brooke was in this tag team turmoil. Can you believe this? And then we had the Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupri versus the Viking Raiders and Valhalla in a mixed tag team match. Are you guys sick of seeing this feud already with the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders? I am sick of it already. Really am. This feud needs to end. We have RHEA Ripley versus Natalya, where the Women's World Championship was on the line. RHEA Ripley defending the title. We have Matt Riddle versus Giovanni Vinci. And the main event, we had Seth Rollins versus Dominik Mysterio. Yeah, sound like a great Monday Night Raw tonight, right? No. This show absolutely fucking sucked. Show sucks. Yeah, I have my Mountain Dew Code Red, the best Mountain Dew, ever. This Mountain Dew, me drinking Mountain Dew Code Red is better than this shit show tonight, known as Monday Night Raw. But before I get into the review of this shit show, I did a movie hunting video earlier today. If you guys haven't seen it, went to the Salvation Army, see if they had anything new for DVD, Blu-ray, VHS-wise. They had no VHSs there when I went, so it was just, little pile of Blu-rays and mostly DVDs. So check out my movie hunting video if you guys haven't seen it. Which, doing that movie hunting video was better than Monday Night Raw tonight. Like I said, absolutely nothing happened on this show tonight. And the crowd, through those 3 hours, looked like they did not give a shit what was going on the show tonight. And I don't blame them. The fans should have started chanting, "We want refunds." So let's get into the review of this garbage dumpster fire of a show. Monday Night Raw open up tonight with the World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins came out, of course, crowd singing along to his theme music. Oh, whoa, just like that. So Seth stood in the middle of the ring. Fans were continuing to sing his theme song. Spotlight on him. He was taking in the crowd, singing away to his theme music. Rollins got on the mic. He welcomed everyone to Monday Night Rollins. And so he began to talk about Money in the Bank. He then mentioned Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns and Io Sky winning the women's Money in the Bank match. Rollins then ended up mentioning Damian Priest winning the men's Money in the Bank. And he ended up saying that he beat Finn Balor and that he is still the World Heavyweight Champion. So Rollins started to talk about SummerSlam, and then he got interrupted by Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes came out. He was in his gear. He got a big ovation from the crowd. Everybody was going, of course, whoa! So Cody got into the ring. Cody and Rollins were face to face. Cody looked at Rollins, and then Brock Lesnar's music ended up hitting. Cody took off his jacket. He ran out of the ring towards Lesnar. Lesnar came out, cowboy hat and all. So both Cody and Lesnar were fighting up on the ramp. Lesnar ended up delivering knees to Cody's face. He threw Cody back into the ring. Rollins then left the ring. Lesnar got into the ring, and Lesnar was going for the F5 to Cody. Cody landed on his feet, and then he ended up hitting Lesnar with the Cody Cutter. So Lesnar rolled out of the ring. Lesnar ended up heading to the back, and he ended up pointing towards Cody, who was still standing in the ring. And pretty much that was that. Monday Night Raw went to commercial. So it looks like we're going to be getting a third match with Cody and Lesnar. And that's going to be happening at SummerSlam. And still no explanation as to why Brock Lesnar attacked Cody Rhodes. God, are we going to get an explanation? Probably not. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Seth Rollins was back in the ring. Rollins ended up laughing. He ended up saying that was a crazy way to kick off the show. No, it wasn't. It was not a crazy way to kick off the show. We've seen a brawl between Cody and Lesnar before. Same old shit. So Seth ended up saying back to his business. He ended up saying that he is very much looking forward to seeing who will be the next person in line. So then he got interrupted by the Judgment Day. So out came Damian Priest, Dominik, and RHEA Ripley. Finn Balor was not out there. He was not present with the three of them. Rhea got on the mic. She ended up saying, "That's enough, Seth. They all know that everyone is here to see the Judgment Day take over." So then Seth ended up asking Rhea, "Everyone?" He ended up saying they don't even have everyone in their own group. So he ended up asking, "Where is Balor tonight?" Rhea ended up saying that Balor is fine, and he is not here tonight, and that it's not of Seth's concern. So the priest got on the mic. He ended up telling Seth not to concern himself with Judgment Day's business, and that he needs to concern himself with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Priest ended up saying that he knows that Rollins knows how that works. He ended up saying if he decides to cash in for Seth's World Heavyweight Championship, he ended up saying that it could be at SummerSlam, it could be at Survivor Series, it could be at the Royal Rumble, or even tonight. So Priest ended up saying maybe after he is done beating Nakamura, he will go from being Señor Money in the Bank to El Campeón Mundial. I think that's how you pronounce it in Spanish. So Seth ended up saying, that sounds all well and good. He ended up saying, but the problem is that he has to have the champion out to beat him. And he is fresh. So Seth ended up saying he was going to go to a party in Baltimore. So Priest ended up telling Rollins before everyone starts playing sing-along, he will make sure Seth is useless. He ended up saying that Rollins is someone who likes a fight. So Priest ended up telling the fans that he hopes they will have the same energy after Rollins gets beaten by the person next to him tonight. So Rhea ended up saying that she already has a match tonight, but Dom is ready for a fight. So of course, Dominik starts to speak. The crowd ends up booing him loudly, of course. So Rhea ended up saying that Dominik wants to fight Seth tonight. Seth ended up saying that as someone who knows all about Money in the Bank, this sounds like a trap. but he would love nothing more than to slap the mustache off Dom's face tonight. So, you know what I'm saying? He will let the fans decide. So the fans end up cheering for that. So Seth end up laughing. He ends up saying that he will see them later. He then dropped the mic and he danced his way to the back. And pretty much that was that. So this was a little fun exchange between the Judgment Day and Seth Rollins. And then, as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had the first match of the night. Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And this was a decent match here. Of course, Dominik and RHEA Ripley were out there. The match got underway. We had both Nakamura and Priest end up doing the test of strength. So Priest ended up following up with some shoulder tackles to Nakamura. Nakamura tried to fight back with an elbow to Damian Priest's face, but Priest locked in an armbar on Nakamura. Priest then threw Nakamura to the ropes. Nakamura ended up hitting Priest with a knee to his body, which was followed up by a drop kick from Nakamura. Nakamura then delivered some right hands. He kicked onto Damian Priest in the corner. Nakamura then ran to the ropes, but Priest ended up delivering a left hand, which knocked Nakamura down. So Priest ended up going for the cover, and Nakamura kicked out. Priest then delivered a right hand, and he ended up throwing Nakamura to the corner, started stomping away on him. Priest then lifted Nakamura up. He ended up going for a vertical suplex, but Nakamura landed on his feet. Priest then delivered a right hand to Nakamura in the corner. Priest ended up going for a splash, and then Nakamura moved out of the way. So Nakamura delivered a right hand to Priest. He ended up placing Priest horizontally on the top rope. Nakamura then ended up hitting Priest with a flying knee, and Priest ended up falling to the outside. Nakamura then headed to the outside. He tried to lift Priest up, but Priest ended up reversing that, and he threw Nakamura onto the barricade. And so Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, both Priest and Nakamura were exchanging right hands, and Nakamura delivered a reverse Russian leg sweep to Priest. Priest ended up getting back up, but Nakamura ended up sitting Priest on the second rope, and he ended up hitting him with a released German suplex. Nakamura delivered a flying kick to Priest's face. He went for the cover, but Priest ended up kicking out. So later on, RHEA Ripley, she was shown arguing with Kevin Patrick on the outside, saying, oh, that was a 3 count because Priest ended up hitting Nakamura with a spinning kick, and he went for the cover, to which Nakamura kicked out of that. So Priest ended up going for the Razor's Edge. Nakamura reversed that into a cover, and Priest kicked out. Nakamura delivered a kick to Priest's head. He went for the cover, but once again, Priest ended up kicking out. So we had Nakamura end up going for the Kinshasa. Priest ducked that. He ended up getting Nakamura to his feet. Priest ended up hitting Nakamura with a clothesline, and then he hit the Salve of Heaven on Nakamura. Priest ended up going for the cover, and there you go. Damian Priest ended up winning the match. But overall, it was a decent match. You know, Priest is being built, you know, like a monster, you know, which is good, you know, with him, you know, holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. So, pretty much that was that. And Nakamura, he's just taken loss after loss after loss so far. And then we had Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey ended up coming out, and she was about to speak, and she got interrupted by Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler got on the mic, and she ended up saying that she is confident when she says that she speaks for everyone. When she says they are tired of hearing Ronda try to speak on a mic. So Ronda then ended up telling Baszler that she owes her an explanation. to which Shayna called Ronda narcissistic. She kept saying that she is the only reason why Ronda is standing in a WWE ring. So Baszler ended up saying that she owes Ronda nothing, but she does owe an apology to everyone for bringing Ronda into the business. So Ronda ended up telling Baszler that she should have spoken up before she cost them their titles. So Baszler ended up saying to Ronda that she doesn't recall her setting up rings, trying to get into the business. Baszler ended up saying that she paid her dues to get here, unlike Ronda. Baszler ended up saying that Ronda walked in through the back door and into WrestleMania. She ended up saying that she loves this, and Ronda has ruined it for her. Baszler ended up saying that she owes her the reality that there is someone here, and that is her, who can finally shut Ronda up. Baszler then threw the mic away, and she standing on the ring apron. Ronda kicked Baszler down. She ended up hitting Baszler with a clothesline. Ronda then threw Baszler back into the ring. Ronda was going to lock in the chair for the clutch on Baszler, but Baszler ended up flipping Ronda over, and Baszler ended up getting Ronda in an ankle lock. Ronda got out of the ankle lock, but Baszler ended up hitting Ronda with a knee to her face. Shayna's music ended up hitting, and then she walked to the back, and pretty much that was that. But overall, I thought this was a pretty good promo from Shayna Baszler here. I think this was her best promo in all the years that, she has been on the main roster. Just her coming out there saying facts that the only reason why Ronda Rousey is here in the company is because she's the one that brought Ronda into the company, into the business. So we got some explanation there. But I have a sense this is going to be your match at SummerSlam. It's going to be Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey. And then we went backstage and we saw Maxine Dupri. She had Otis in a headlock. Chad Gable ended up coming up. He blew a whistle. He ended up saying that was great to Maxine. And Gable ended up asking her if she is ready for her first match. Maxine ended up saying that she is more than ready, and she is sick and tired of the Viking Raiders underestimating her and Chad Gable's coaching abilities. Chad Gable ended up saying that he's a 5-star man, a 5-star coach, and an Olympian. He ended up saying tonight they're going to slap the Viking Raiders in the face. And yeah, I'm still freaking tired of seeing the Viking Raiders and the Alpha Academy go at it. This feud needs to fucking end. How many matches are we going to get out of the Alpha Academy and the Viking Raiders? What is this, like the 7th, 8th match? I've lost count. And then we had a women's tag team turmoil match. The winners will be the number one contenders for the women's tag team championship. So we had Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green versus Emma and Nikki Cross versus Kaden Carter and Katana Chance versus Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae versus Dana Brooke and Tegan Knox. Awful. Awful fucking match this was. Absolutely boring. So we had Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green end up coming out first. Of course, you had Samantha Irvin. Of course, when she announced Chelsea Green, she goes, Chelsea Green! Cringe. So the match ended up getting underway. Indy Hartwell started off the match with Sonya Deville. She ended up hitting her with a backbreaker. Candice LeRae ended up taking in. So Candice and Indy end up double teaming on Sonya Deville. And I'm like, Candice LeRae just, comes and returns out of nowhere for this tag team turmoil match. Same with Indy Hartwell. And Dana Brooke and Tegan Knox, I'm like, Dana Brooke, she's down in NXT. And now she's on Monday Night Raw. So then Nikki Cross wanted to team with Candice LeRae, but Candice already said that she has teamed with Indy Hartwell, and so that led to Emma, coming up to Nikki Cross saying, "Oh, why don't you tag team with the great Australian, wrestler in WWE?" Who cares? Who cares? So Chelsea Green ended up coming in. She was thrown to the outside of the ring. Candice LeRae ended up going for a springboard moonsault on Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville ended up moving out of the way. Chelsea Green ended up tagging in. Candice LeRae ended up hitting her with a flying knee. Chelsea ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae were eliminated from this. Then Nikki Cross and Emma came into the match. We had Nikki Cross delivering some right hands onto Chelsea Green. Emma got tagged in. Nikki Cross then left the ring to check up on Candice LeRae. Because Nikki Cross was like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Leaving Emma in the ring. So Emma delivered a kick to Chelsea Green's face, which was followed up by a snap suplex. So Emma ended up going for the cover. Chelsea Green ended up kicking out. So pretty much Sonya Deville was tagged in. Chelsea Green ended up hitting Emma with the Unpretty Her. Sonya then ended up hitting Emma with the flying knee. Sonya ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Emma and Nikki Cross got eliminated. Tegan Nox and Dana Brooke came into the match. You can already tell who were eliminated next. It was Dana Brooke and Tegan Nox. Then Kayden and Katana Chance end up coming into the match here. Which Kayden Carter and Katana Chance should have, won the match here. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville end up winning because we had Kayden Carter knocking Sonya Deville down off the ring apron. Chelsea Green ended up hitting Kayden Carter with the Unprettier, and Chelsea ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville ended up winning the match. This tag team turmoil match just shows how terrible the women's division is. Kayden Carter and Katana Chance should have won this match. I mean, they are a good tag team together. Kayden and Katana. Look at what they did down in NXT. But yeah, we gotta have Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green win it, so they get an opportunity to face for the Women's Tag Team Championships against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Who cares? Give me a pillow and have me go to sleep when that happens. This entire division is a fucking mess. Awful. And as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, we had a video package hyping up Bronson Reed. So we saw that. And then Becky Lynch ended up coming out, and you know where this is going to go. More Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus garbage. God, this feud needs to end already. Sick of this Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus feud. It is absolutely awful. So Becky Lynch came out to the ring. She got on the mic. She kept saying that she did not win Money in the Bank, but she can move on from that. She kept saying that she cannot seem to move on from the thorn in her side. That is Trish Stratus. Becky ended up saying that she can't think of a better time or place to end this than right now. Becky then called Trish out to the ring. So Trish ended up coming out alongside Zoe Stark. Trish ended up wearing a protective face mask, which looked like the same face mask that she wore when she was the women's champion back in the day. So Trish got on the mic. She ended up telling the fans, even in the mask, she is prettier than each and every one of them. She ended up saying that they all need a mask like hers, but to hide their ugliness. She ended up saying that she would love to indulge in Becky's request, However, Trish ended up saying that she is not medically cleared because Becky broke her face. So Becky then ended up telling Trish to send her little lapdog Zoe down to fight. So Trish ended up asking Becky if she is sure she wants that, after Zoe Stark dominated at Money in the Bank. Becky ended up telling Trish that Zoe is better than her broke ass. So Trish ended up saying that no one is better than herself, including Becky. She ended up saying maybe one day Zoe might be better than her, but presently, no one is better than her. She ended up saying that she is the greatest of all time. So Becky ended up saying that she remembers that Trish couldn't beat her on her own, and that Zoe popped in from under the ring and hit her with the Z360, and that Trish got the win. Becky ended up saying that it seems Trish isn't the greatest of all time, but she is. She ended up saying that if Zoe wants to get better, she would have to go through her because everyone knows that Trish won't be sticking around. So she ended up saying that Trish is back to get some glory and rub up with her and advertise her little TV show. Because I think she's on Canada's Got Talent. Trish Stratus is a judge on that show. So she ended up mentioning that, Becky. So Becky ended up asking Zoe Stark what will happen after that when Trish leaves. Becky was like, oh, is Trish going to bring Zoe to Canada and answer phone calls at her yoga shop? So Becky ended up saying to Trish, why are you even back? So Trish ended up saying that she is the face of the women's division, the division she built. So Trish Stratus is still thinking that she's living in 2002. I'm sorry, Trish, this is not 2002. So Trish ended up saying that Becky hated when they would walk together backstage and everyone would thank Trish. She ended up saying that the irony isn't lost on her that Becky tried to break the face of the actual face of the women's division. She is not the face of the women's division. Maybe back then, but not now. And Trish ended up saying Zoe will break Becky's face. So Trish and Zoe started walking down to the ring. Trish ended up stopping Zoe, and she ended up saying she just remembered that she has a medical appointment, and they have to leave Baltimore. So Trish ended up telling Becky to leave her calendar open for Zoe for next week. So both Trish and Zoe ended up heading to the back, and pretty much that was basically that. So we're going to get that match next week on Monday Night Raw. Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark. That's that. But this whole segment was absolutely fucking awful. Cringe. God. Absolutely fucking terrible. And then we saw a clip of what happened earlier in the night. The brawl between Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. Why did they have to show this again when we already saw it? So now we had Jackie Redmond. Jackie Redmond is one of the new interviewers with WWE. She was shown on the ramp, and she introduced Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes now came out wearing a suit. So he took off his wrestling gear that fast. I'm like, why was he in his wrestling gear earlier in the night? So Jackie Redmond ended up asking Cody about his altercation with Brock Lesnar earlier. Cody ended up saying that tonight is Jackie's first night on Monday Night Raw. He ended up asking the crowd to say hi, Jackie, to which the crowd ended up doing. Cody ended up saying that he is a man of his word. He ended up saying after Night of Champions that he would be waiting on Brock Lesnar. He kept telling Lesnar that they are not done yet. He kept saying that Lesnar broke his arm and that he busted Lesnar's face. Cody kept saying that there is no way they can continue to coexist on Raw. Cody kept saying that he wants another shot at Brock Lesnar. He ended up saying that he will fight Lesnar any night, and he will fight Lesnar every night. So Cody's music ended up hitting. He shook hands with the crowd. He ended up signing a belt for a fan, and he headed to the back. This was a waste of time. Why couldn't they do this backstage? Cody had to come out again and just give this promo. This all could have been done backstage. And then we had the mixed tag team match. Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupri versus the Viking Raiders and Valhalla. Boring match. Match got underway. Chad Gable and Eric started off the match. Chad Gable delivered a roll-up on Eric, but Eric ended up kicking out. Eric quickly got back up, and Gable locked in a headlock on Eric. Gable then threw Eric to the ropes. Eric ended up hitting Gable with a forearm to his face. Eric then locked in a chin lock, but Chad Gable ended up getting out of it, and he made the tag to Otis. Otis then delivered a clothesline to Eric. In came Ivar, and Otis delivered a power slam to Ivar. Otis then delivered a splash onto Eric in the corner. Eric fell down to the mat. Otis then ripped his shirt off, and he did the caterpillar onto Eric. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Otis delivered a double clothesline onto both Eric and Ivar in the middle of the ring. Chad Gable then tagged in. Chad Gable delivered some right hands to Ivar, which was followed up by an uppercut. Chad Gable ended up going to the ropes. He ended up hitting Ivar with a swinging neck breaker. Eric got into the ring, and Gable delivered an exploder suplex to Eric. And Chad Gable climbed to the second rope. Ivar ended up hitting Gable with some right hands. Ivar climbed the second rope. So both Ivar and Gable were fighting on the ropes. Gable then ended up delivering a bulldog off the second rope onto Ivar. Gable then clotheslined Ivar to the outside. Gable climbed to the top rope, and he delivered a headbutt to Ivar. So Gable ended up going for the cover, to which Eric broke up the pin. Gable ended up throwing Eric to the outside, and then he ended up hitting Ivar with a clothesline. So Maxine Dupri and Valhalla end up coming into the ring. So they end up going at it. Maxine ended up delivering a hip toss to Valhalla, which was followed up by a snap suplex. And Maxine Dupri, I gotta say, she was, a bit impressive here. So Maxine Dupri delivered a splash in the corner. Valhalla ended up falling onto the mat. Maxine ended up looking at Otis, and Otis ended up telling Maxine to do the caterpillar, to which Maxine did the caterpillar, which looked awful. What an awful caterpillar done by her. So she did the caterpillar, but Valhalla ended up hitting Maxine with a knee to the face. The Viking Raiders then beat it up on Otis on the outside. Gable then delivered a moonsault off the top rope onto the Viking Raiders. So Valhalla ended up throwing Maxine into the corner. Valhalla ran toward Maxine, but Maxine jumped over her. And Maxine Dupri ended up rolling up Valhalla. And there you go. The Alpha Academy ended up winning the match. What a terrible match this was. I see, Maxine Dupri was a little impressive here. But terrible match. And then we saw Jackie Redmond. And she was backstage with Ricochet. Ricochet coming off of being in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Ricochet and Logan Paul went through the table there during the match, which they showed recap of. So Ricochet ended up telling Jackie that a lot of people thought that Logan Paul didn't even belong in the match. He ended up saying that the kid can hang, but he doesn't respect that Logan Paul got in his face after the match. Ricochet ended up saying that the fact of the matter is that it wasn't Logan Paul's night. So Ricochet ended up challenging Logan Paul next week on Raw in a face-to-face. So we're going to be getting that next week. Face-to-face between Ricochet and Logan Paul. Yeah, it's raining out there. It came down. So. And then we had the Women's World Championship on the line. Rhea Ripley defended the title against Natalya. This was the best match on the show tonight. And that's pretty surprising to say, from a Natalya match. So Rhea Ripley ended up making her way down to the ring, and Natalya ended up attacking Rhea Ripley from behind. Natalya ended up throwing Rhea Ripley into the barricade, started stomping away on her. Natalya delivered some right hands to Rhea. She ended up throwing Rhea into the ring steps. Natalya then threw Rhea into the ring, and the ref ended up checking on Rhea in the corner, and he ended up ringing the bell because the match didn't get underway, before then. So Natalya started delivering some right hands in the corner to Rhea. She ended up dropping Rhea, ended up going for the sharpshooter, but Rhea ended up grabbing the ropes and rolled to the outside. Natalya then went to the outside, and Rhea delivered some right hands to Natalya, which knocked her down. Rhea then threw Natalya onto the commentary table. She ended up slamming her face first several times on the commentary table. Rhea Ripley then threw Natalya into the ring. Natalya ended up hitting her with a German suplex. So Natalya started delivering some right hands to Rhea. She ended up going for a body slam, but Rhea landed on her feet. Rhea then delivered a right hand to the back of Natalya, and then she delivered another right hand to Natalya's lower back. So Natalya came back. She ended up delivering right hands to Rhea. She ended up getting Rhea in the corner. Natalya ended up running towards Rhea, but Rhea delivered a headbutt to Natalya. So Rhea ended up going for the cover. Natalya kicked out. So later on, Rhea ended up grabbing Natalya, slammed her face first into the top turnbuckle. She then placed Natalya on the top rope. She climbed to the second rope, and Natalya ended up hitting Rhea with a headbutt, which knocked Rhea down. Natalya then delivered a crossbody off the top rope, and both women were down. So both Natalya and Rhea got to their feet. So Natalya delivered some right hands to Rhea, but Rhea ended up delivering a knee to Natalya's face. Rhea then went for a drop kick to Natalya. She ended up going for the cover, and Natalya ended up kicking out. So as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Rhea Ripley was in control of the match. She delivered a spinning kick, which knocked Natalya down. Rhea ended up going for the riptide, but Natalya reversed that into a hurricanrana. Natalya then delivered a lariat to Rhea. She ended up going for the cover, but Rhea ended up kicking out. So Natalya ended up slamming Rhea into the turnbuckle. Natalya then ran towards Rhea, but Rhea delivered a double kick to Natalya. Rhea climbed the top rope. She ended up landing a missile drop kick onto Natalya. Rhea then went for the cover, and Natalya ended up kicking out. Rhea then delivered a kick to Natalya's head, and she ended up getting the prison lock onto Natalya in the middle of the ring. Natalya then rolled out of it and slammed Rhea into the turnbuckle. So Natalya ended up going for the sharpshooter, but Rhea ended up tripping Natalya face first into the turnbuckle. Rhea started stomping away on Natalya as she climbed the top rope. Rhea then ended up going for a frog splash, but Natalya ended up getting the boot up. Rhea then ran towards Natalya, ended up going for a spear, but Natalya moved out of the way, and Rhea went shoulder first into the ring post. Natalya then delivered a running power slam, which was followed up by the sharpshooter, which was locked in on Rhea. So Rhea dragged herself to the ropes. She reached the bottom rope, and the ref broke up the sharpshooter as Rhea ended up rolling to the outside. So Natalya ended up going to the ropes. She ended up going for a baseball slide, but Rhea moved out of the way. Rhea got back into the ring, as did Natalya. So Rhea ended up hitting Natalya with a kick and then a headbutt. And then Rhea hit the riptide on Natalya. She ended up going for the cover. And there you go. Rhea Ripley ended up winning the match, retaining the Women's World Championship. Post-match, Rhea ended up attacking Natalya. And Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, Smiley Raquel, ended up running down. And they ended up making the save for Natalya as Rhea Ripley rolled out of the ring. So that was that. But overall, in my opinion, this was the best match of the night. And surprising to say, considering, it was a Natalya match versus Rhea Ripley. But Natalya did, very good here. So then we saw a clip of when Miz attacked Tommaso Ciampa last week on Raw. And pretty much it's going to be the Miz versus Tommaso Ciampa next week on Raw in a no disqualification match. Yay, more Miz and Tommaso Ciampa going at it. God. So now we saw Rhea Ripley. She was walking backstage. Io Sky was shown. She was holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Rhea ended up telling Io to try her. And it would be the biggest mistake of her life. If Io ended up cashing in on, Rhea Ripley and winning the Women's World Championship. So in came Dominik and Damian Priest. Rhea ended up saying that if Liv and Raquel get into her business again, both of them will regret it. Dominik ended up saying to Rhea, just like Seth Rollins will regret getting in the ring with him. So that was that. And then we had Matt Riddle versus Giovanni Vinci. This was a quick match. Giovanni Vinci was accompanied by Gunther and Ludwig Kaiser. Both men were exchanging right hands. Vinci delivered a springboard crossbody off the second rope to Matt Riddle. Vinci ended up attacking Riddle's left foot, which was still wrapped up. And he followed that with a moonsault off the second rope. He ended up going for the cover, and Matt Riddle kicked out. Vinci ended up going for an ankle lock, but Riddle reversed that into a cover. And there you go. Matt Riddle ended up winning the match. Post-match, Ludwig Kaiser ended up attacking Riddle, and Drew McIntyre ended up coming out. Drew McIntyre returned at Money in the Bank, still babyface. So Kaiser ended up running down towards the ramp. McIntyre ended up hitting Kaiser with a big boot. And then he ended up hitting the Glasgow Kiss headbutt to Vinci. And Riddle delivered a knee to Vinci's face. McIntyre then stared at Gunther, who was standing on the outside. McIntyre then delivered a Claymore to Vinci. He did the 3, 2, 1, and then he laid out Vinci with the Claymore. Gunther got on the ring apron, and him and McIntyre went face to face. So pretty much that was basically that. But it looks like they're setting it up for Drew McIntyre and Gunther to go at it. The Intercontinental Championship will possibly be on the line, and that will possibly take place at SummerSlam. But without a doubt, that match is happening at SummerSlam. And then as Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Matt Riddle was thanking Drew McIntyre for having his back. So in came Byron Saxton. McIntyre ended up telling Saxton that Drew McIntyre is back. Riddle ended up saying, now that McIntyre is back, they can team up and take on Imperium next week. So McIntyre ended up joking. He ended up saying that he can hear the people on the outside saying to take his shirt off. So McIntyre ended up saying that's next week. But they can go out tonight and have some fun. So Riddle ended up agreeing. So both Riddle and McIntyre ended up going off to celebrate. And that was that. Main event. Dominik Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. Dominik, of course, was accompanied by Damian Priest and RHEA Ripley. And this was a okay match here. Match started off with Seth Rollins delivered a headlock takedown on Dominik. The fans were chanting, "Dom, you suck." Surprised they were not chanting, "Dirty Dom." So Dom delivered a head scissor, and he ended up getting out of it. Dominik delivered a headlock takedown on Seth. Seth ended up getting out of it. Seth ran to the ropes. He ended up knocking Dom down with a shoulder tackle. Seth then delivered some right hands. He ended up throwing Dom to the outside. Seth was about to run to the ropes, but RHEA Ripley got involved. She got on the ring apron. Dominik ran towards Seth. Seth ended up throwing Dom to the outside. Seth was now on the ring apron. He ended up landing a flying knee, which knocked Dom down. And then Monday Night Raw went to commercial. Then when Monday Night Raw came back from the commercial, Seth was in control of the match. He did the Three Amigos to Dom, which that got a big pop from the crowd. You know, the Three Amigos in honor of the late great Eddie Guerrero. Seth then climbed the top rope as once again RHEA Ripley got on the ring apron and she distracted the ref. Damian Priest got on the ring apron and he ended up pushing Seth off the top rope. Dom then went to the top and he delivered a frog splash onto Seth. Dom then climbed the top rope again. He ended up hitting Seth with another frog splash. Dom ended up stomping on Seth and he climbed the top rope again. Dom ended up going for a third frog splash, but Seth got his knees up. Dom got to his feet, and Seth delivered some kicks, and then he clotheslined Dom, knocking him down. Dom was in the corner. Seth delivered a running elbow onto him. So Seth ended up landing 3 elbows to Dom, and then he followed up with a backbreaker. Seth went to the ropes, and he ended up delivering a kick to Dom's face. Seth ended up kicking Dom. He ended up going for the pedigree. Damian Priest got on the ring apron. So Seth knocked Damian Priest down. Dom got back up. And Seth ended up clotheslining Dom to the outside. Seth then delivered a suicide dive onto Dom and Damian Priest. Seth threw Dom back to the ring. And then he delivered a rolling elbow, which was followed up by a forearm to the back of Dom's neck. Seth ended up going for the stomp. But Damian Priest got in the ring. He ended up hitting Seth with the South of Heaven, which that caused a disqualification. So Seth Rollins won the match by disqualification. So Priest started delivering some right hands to Seth. He threw Seth to the outside of the ring. And then Priest ended up throwing Seth into the commentary table. Priest then threw Seth into the barricade. He lifted him up. And he ended up slamming Seth face first into the commentary table. Priest then cleared the commentary table. He ended up going for the Razor's Edge, but Seth landed on his feet. Seth then delivered a super kick to Priest. Dom then hit Seth from behind with the briefcase, with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Dom then threw Seth into the ring steps, and the fans were chanting, "Dom, you suck." So Dom ended up giving Priest the briefcase, and he told Priest to cash it in. Priest looked around. He got on the ring apron. Seth ended up standing up, and then Finn Balor attacked Seth from behind. Seth then bumped into Priest, who fell to the outside. Balor ended up getting on the ring apron. Him and Damian Priest started arguing with each other. Dom was playing Peacemaker here as Seth ended up rolling out of the ring. Dom ended up going after Seth, but Seth ended up hitting Dom with the pedigree on the outside. Damian Priest and Balor were arguing still on the outside. RHEA Ripley ended up trying to break it up. So Rollins' music ended up hitting. He headed to the back, and that was how Monday Night Raw went off the air. Overall, it was an okay match between Dom and Seth Rollins here, but the disqualification knew it was coming. But that was mine at Raw tonight. This show fucking sucked. This show was absolutely awful. It was boring. Just nothing happened on this show tonight. The best thing on the show was Rhea Ripley versus Natalya. Everything else, Damian Priest and Nakamura was a decent match. The main event was okay. Everything else was just fucking awful. But anyways, that's it for the Monday Night Raw review. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this review. Definitely give the video a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I have my Mountain Dew Code Red here, which this bottle of Mountain Dew Code Red has more charisma than anything that we saw on Monday Night Raw tonight. Like I said, more charisma in this. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later. And here's Austin again, what he thinks of this show tonight. Stone Cold Steve Austin, what'd you think of the show tonight? I forgot. What'd you think of it?
Oh.